You are not unlucky. You are afraid. Afraid to try. Afraid to fail. Afraid to face the possibility that if you gave your all and still didn't win, there would be no one left to blame but yourself. That's not bad luck. That's fear. Fear wearing the mask of fate. We call it destiny to avoid admitting we hesitated. We say the universe didn't align because it hurts to see that we didn't. The idea of bad luck is comfortable because it frees us from the most painful truth of all, that our own hands built the cage we live in. If life didn't work out, it was the universe. If nothing changed, it was fate. But the brutal truth is simpler. You never took full control. The world isn't against you. It isn't for you either. It simply doesn't care, and that's what makes you free. Freedom terrifies people because it erases the excuses. When you accept that no one is stopping you, you lose the right to hide. No more one day, no more maybe later. There's only this moment and what you choose to do with it. Nietzsche called this the slave morality, the mindset of those who hand their power to invisible forces. They blame luck, society, parents, government, algorithms, the economy, even the stars. But all these ghosts exist for one purpose: to protect the ego from the unbearable weight of freedom. So people sabotage themselves. They delay their dreams, stay where it's safe, choose predictable misery over uncertain transformation. Because failing on your own terms feels more terrifying than blaming fate. But it's also the only pain that makes you evolve. The bad luck story is warm. It lets you sleep. But deep down you know, your stagnation isn't destiny. It's fear, and fear doesn't always scream. Sometimes it whispers, wait. Wait until you're ready. Wait until you're confident. Wait until it feels right. But that moment never comes, because confidence isn't what creates action. Action creates confidence. The universe doesn't punish. It doesn't reward. It simply exists, indifferent, silent, neutral. And that indifference is not cruelty. It's possibility. If nothing is written, then everything can be written. If there's no plan, you are free to make one. That's what Nietzsche meant by amor fati. Love your fate, not as submission, but as defiance. To look at every scar, every failure, every loss and say, this too is mine. Because once you stop wishing the past were different, you reclaim your power to shape the future. You are not supposed to be comfortable. Growth and comfort never coexist. And yet most people would rather suffer predictably than risk becoming something greater. They cling to the story of bad luck because it justifies paralysis. But the truth is this: fear is not a wall, it's a mirror. Everything you call limitation is a reflection of the control you've refused to claim. Fear only disappears when you move through it. And every step into the unknown is a declaration that you will no longer let comfort decide who you are. You think fear protects you, but fear is the cage. It convinces you that chaos is dangerous, that risk is punishment, that failure is death. Yet Nietzsche saw chaos as sacred, the birthplace of creation. He wrote, "One must still have chaos in oneself to give birth to a dancing star." You have that chaos inside you, the raw material of greatness. But to use it, you must kill the story that keeps you small. The story that says you're unlucky, that others had better chances, that you were born too early or too late. Because as long as that story lives, you remain its prisoner. There comes a moment when there's no one left to blame, no trauma, no fate, no cosmic injustice, just you, and the awareness that you either build your life or you don't. That moment is terrifying, but it's also sacred, because it marks the death of illusion and the birth of power. Power doesn't come from control over others, it comes from mastery over yourself, the courage to act despite fear, to choose meaning instead of safety. That's what makes you dangerous. That's what makes you alive. And understand this, courage isn't the absence of fear, it's the rebellion against it. Every thinker, creator, and conqueror you admire felt doubt, but they moved anyway. They understood that the universe gives nothing, and that's exactly why everything is possible. So stop calling it bad luck. Stop saying someday. Stop waiting for signs. You don't need permission. You don't need the universe to choose you. You choose you. Write this down. Say it out loud. Comment it. I choose control. Because from this moment forward, there are only two paths. You either remain a victim of the story you were given, or you become the author of the story you will write. The universe is silent. It's waiting for your decision. And now, it's your turn to speak.